In the heart of ancient Italy, where the rolling hills and winding rivers hold tales waiting to be uncovered, there existed a realm like no other, the Roman Republic. A civilization that rose from the ashes of a monarchy to become a powerful entity stretching across continents. But no tale is without its shadows, and the rise of Rome was ultimately followed by a spectacular fall. Prepare yourself, dear viewer, as we traverse the intricate weave of ambition, power, and betrayal that defines the saga of the Roman Republic, a gripping story that history textbooks barely scratch the surface of. Imagine it, if you will, a bustling city at the foot of the Palatine Hill. The streets are alive with traders shouting, children laughing, and the distant echo of gladiators preparing for combat in the Forum. The Senate, that grand assembly, buzzes with the fervor of passionate leaders vying for the heart of the city and the loyalty of its citizens. Yet beneath this vibrant surface lies a tapestry of personal drama that, if unfolded, reveals far deeper struggles than mere politics. Why did a republic built on the ashes of tyranny fall prey to its own ideals? As we delve into this narrative, picture the ambitious figures that shaped Rome, men like Marius, Sulla, and Caesar. Each was a titan of their time, but also a person grappling with the same raw aspirations that course through our veins today. It's easy to label them as heroes or villains, but it is the gray areas between these extremes that tell the real story. Marius, the common man's champion, sparked a revolution that would ripple through the very fabric of Roman society. A military reformer, he changed the landscape of the Roman army, changing who could serve and shifting power from the Senate to the generals. Marius filled the ranks with the landless poor, promising land and glory in return for loyalty, a desperate gamble that ignited a terrifying new power. This reformation was a double-edged sword. While it gave ordinary citizens a stake in the empire, it also laid the groundwork for military leaders to seize control. Amid this upheaval emerged Sulla, a general whose ambition knew no bounds. He was a stern traditionalist, filled with a zealous desire to restore the republic to the state he believed it should be. Picture him marching on Rome with an army loyal to him alone, a grim executioner who would leave a trail of blood behind, a blatant act that crushed Marius's vision and morphed the republic into something almost unrecognizable. But don't think for a moment that Sulla's reign went unchallenged. The age-old question of loyalty played a pivotal role. To whom does one owe their allegiance became a defining struggle during these chaotic times. As the Senate shifted and power swayed, the populace became pawns in a much larger game. Political alliances were forged, broken, and often turned deadly. This was the environment where loyalty was paramount yet utterly tenuous, a fact that would set the stage for the greatest conflict that would ever threaten Rome. And what of Gaius Julius Caesar? His name evokes images of grandeur, blood-stained altars, and ultimate betrayal. The question lingers, was he a savior or a tyrant? As we walk alongside Caesar through the cobbled streets of Rome, we see the rise of a man able to manipulate the very pillars of Roman society. A military genius who expanded Rome's territories, but also a populace that stirred dreams of grandeur among the masses. Eager to elevate himself, Caesar ignited a dangerous fire, crossing the Rubicon and declaring a civil war in a bold act that forever altered the course of Roman history. This is the moment when curiosity must rest on the question, what lies ahead for a man who defied destiny itself? The rise of Caesar came at a time when the Senate was fractured, and the very ideals of the Republic were crumbling like the ruins of a once great temple. the noble institution of the Republic, built upon shared governance and collective responsibility, began to fester with rot. Dictatorship hung in the air like a shadow, swirling around ambitions that steeled against time. Each stone in the Senate became not just a seat of power but also a battleground for personal vendettas and political maneuvering. Then came the Ides of March, a date that has become synonymous with betrayal. Gathered in the theater of Pompey, Senate members penned the fate of a man who had brought Roman glory but also instilled fear. Conspirators plotted, their minds toyed with passions of betrayal and dreams of restoration. They would strike at the heart of power, believing that by silencing Caesar, they could restore the Republic to its former glory. Yet what history often glosses over, in its sterile accounts of events, is the very raw emotion behind the daggers wielded that fateful day. As they plunged their knives into Caesar's flesh, they hoped for liberation. What they found instead was chaos. You must wonder, was this fate truly sealed? What if they had succeeded in preserving the Republic? As blood soaked the marble floors, so too did the ideals of the very Republic they sought to protect. The silence that followed Caesar's death echoed louder than the cheers for his supposed freedom. In the eyes of those who witnessed, they did not just kill a man, they killed a way of life. With Caesar's assassination, a power vacuum fell over Rome, where ambition was unleashed in a chaos akin to an armed ballet. Octavian, his adopted son and heir, emerged from the ashes, stepping into a world filled with tension and hungry factions. The struggle for power wasn't merely political, it was deeply personal. As Octavian faced off against Mark Antony, and the shadow of Cleopatra loomed large, Rome became a stage for a tragic play of love, loyalty, and betrayal, the stakes raised to an unprecedented level. Imagine the tension, the clashing gladiators of politics colliding in the Eastern Mediterranean, as alliances solidified and fractures began to appear. Antony, a commander who once fought by Caesar's side, was now Octavian's bitter enemy. Their rivalry ignited the flames of war like never before, yet it did more than just draw swords. Onlookers gasped as they watched this clash redefine the fate of Rome. Would the Republic endure, or was Augustus destined to rise from its smoldering remains? And as we read the dramatics, what about the populace? The common folk, no longer mere spectators, begin to feel the weight of decisions made by men in togas. Public opinion swayed like a pendulum depending on who wore the laurel crown that day. The cries for bread and circuses echoed through the forums. Was democracy a myth, swallowed whole by ambition's greedy jaws? When victory finally tilted in Octavian's favor after the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, the Republic ushered in the kind of empire, a transformation that sowed the seeds of a new political order. But ask yourself, was this the end of a story or simply a transformation of its identity? The Senate that had once wielded power was co-opted, becoming a mere shadow of itself under the looming figure of Augustus. As Augustus, he donned the mantle of a monarch while paradoxically projecting the image of a republican leader. He wielded power like a skilled puppeteer, deftly maneuvering threads of loyalty and deception, a skill that even the most experienced statesman could scarcely master. Yet with each passing year, the illusion of the Republic faded into the evening darkness, replaced by a new reality. The Roman Empire had risen. In the aftermath, what lessons lie in the ebb and flow of this ancient tapestry? One may wonder, did they not foresee the consequences of their actions? The ambition, the betrayals, every blood-soaked decision echoing through time leads us to believe these were not isolated incidents. They were the human experience on grand display, a reflection of our own desires and fears. History has captured these moments, yet there exists another dimension, obscured by time, a desperate exploration of what it means to be human amidst power. As Rome morphed into an empire, the legacies of those ambitious figures continued to shape destiny, throwing up walls against the very principles they had once fought to protect. The follies of pride, the temptations of absolute power, and the resulting decay provide us with a cautionary tale, a mirror to our contemporary struggles, a reminder that history does not merely repeat, it rhymes. We find ourselves drawn into a tragedy that speaks of ambition, glory, and the ultimate fragility of human constructs. Would it be fair to say the fables of the Roman Republic hold a sacred truth that transcends time? A truth that casts shadows across our modern epics, igniting a flame of curiosity and urgency to grasp the full expanse of human experience? So as we reflect on the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, let's not just see it as a tale bound by time and artifacts. Let us draw wisdom from their triumphs and failures. The questions linger in the corridors of our hearts. What sacrifices will we make for power? How much trust will we place in leadership? And ultimately, is the quest for greatness worth the cost of the very ideals we hold dear? As the clock of history continues to tick, may this story echo not just as a fading memory of the Republic, but as a living reminder of who we are in this grand tapestry of existence, a curious interplay of ambition, loyalty, and the ever-persistent pursuit of power. The narrative of the Roman Republic weaves itself through time, beckoning us to listen and learn from its layers, reminding us that while the actors may change, the essence of humanity remains eternally the same.